Hi, good folks. I'm glad you're here to tune in for some yoga time. What I share is integral Hatha Yoga. It was brought over here from India by a being called Satchitananda, which he developed from his lineage. And some of you have been doing this yoga for a long time, so welcome. And those of you that haven't and you're joining, welcome to explore to see if it's a helpful format for you. Hatha Yoga, as a reminder, a great word. Ha, sun, ta, moon, hatha. So that blending, yoga is union. So that beautiful blending of those wild, fiery, busy sides of ourselves with that calm, kind of inward, sometimes shy, insecure sides of ourselves. So it's a good thing to have something that can blend and bring some balance to those energies. So we're going to be sharing the whole holistic practice. My suggestion to you, if you can and have time, is to do this whole practice. So I'm sharing it in the intro here, where we'll be setting some intent and warming up, part one. Part two will be the movement or asana part of the practice, which will change a little bit with some different optionals each week. And then the ending, which is the beautiful way to blend it all together with Savasana, where we'll be doing the deep relaxation and brain retraining parts with the Pranayama, deep cleansing, breathing process with our clothes down, chanting for the world and ourselves. So please, if you have time, my suggestion is to do all three parts. I'm glad you're here again. Let's begin. We're going to begin sitting here. So what does that mean for you and your body? You've got to adapt these things. There is no one way to do this yoga. Through anything that I teach or show, if you need to do an optional that feels better to your body, please do. The only way to really do things wrong is to do anti-yoga, right? To sit in pain or to try to be frustrated that you can't do something that I or somebody else is doing. There's so many optionals to anything that's shown in yoga. So adapt it, find the things that you might need. So for sitting for this first part, you might need to be in a chair for your body. For some, if you're fine flat on the ground, great. If you need a pillow or a high zafu, please enjoy that. Balancing out, and remember to pull back the bottom. You know, always kind of removing the flesh out of the way a little bit so you can get a firm foundation there on the sit bones and to open the hips a little bit. So the first thing we enjoy with sitting is maybe getting a little bit more aligned. One thing I've seen a lot is people who put a bone on bone in yoga and that crisscross, and that's not quite it. It would be a balanced version of coming in to some form of alignment. So heel, heel, up. So that could look like this, right? Heel, heel. If your leg hurts and you need to bring it out, then you can switch and bring the other leg out. You know, find the way that this is going to be comfortable for you to be sitting. So coming in, bringing the flesh back, balancing down. And the first thing we enjoy, which I love about this yoga, is really just grounding into the earth. We ground in this yoga before we lift. So taking your nice moment to just feel what's underneath you on the earth. Just take some nice general breaths, nice deep breaths, and feel what's touching the earth. And imagine that you're kind of growing tree roots down into the earth, just getting grounded, getting that contact with the earth to get grounded for a minute. And setting some intent for your practice. It's going to be personal for everybody, which is what's so delightful. Such an individual, practice. For me, my intent right now is to help myself enough to help others, but to do so with some balance. Right? To do so with some balance, maybe even creating some joy, some prosperity. Can't do that if my cup is empty and I'm trying to serve. So that's my intent. Take a minute to set yours. Just take some breaths. Feel the earth underneath you. Set some intent for what you need to bring some balance into your existence. And now we can begin to lift a little bit. Now that we're rooted into that earth, now we can just feel a slight, subtle lift up the spine, up through the crown. Not the chin, but the crown. And we're going to start the 3-part breath. 3 parts meaning down here is affected, here, and here. Dirgha Swasham, very old breath. First, it begins with an exhale. So you kind of remove that oxygen that's been in there for a while to the best that you can right now, blowing out through the nose. In this yoga, use the nose if you can. If you need to use the mouth, you can. But if you can close the mouth and use the nose, please do. And we start with an exhale, emptying the belly. It's helpful to think of a balloon, right? The balloon's either filling or emptying. So I'm going to exhale down here. I'm going to start that deep inhale, filling the belly. Then the middle, really expanding in my rib cage. And then all the way up, one breath, all the way up. Hold on that breath for about 3 or 4 seconds. And then when you're ready, we'll start the exhale. Exhaling from the top, the chest first, then the middle, empties, then lower empties. And keep going. It's like a glass of water. You're filling up from the bottom up. And you're emptying from the top down. Let's do a few more. Slowing it down. Remember, what heals the human nervous system quite often is slowing down the breath. So give it a try. Exhale everything. Empty the belly. Inhale, fill from the bottom up. Empty from the top down. Empty. Maybe try a little bit of the pranic ratio, which means doubling your exhale. So just for a minute while we're sitting here, while you're calming down and grounding, try counting your longest inhale and see if you can double your exhale. So maybe try inhaling for 5 seconds. Try exhaling for 10 seconds. You can close the glottis of the throat a little bit, meaning you just slightly close your throat and make what I like to call wind in the ears. It's Ujjayi breath. Sounds like wind. That'll help you slow down your breath. So try to double your exhales for a minute using Ujjayi on your exhales. Good. We're going to Om in together. So if you're accustomed to using the Om, enjoy. Let's tune in with that. If you are not used to using the Om, it's for the vibration of it. So don't get hung up on what you sound like. Just try to feel the vibrational aspect of it. There's a lot of studies out that you can research these days about how sound vibration can really help many aspects of the body and the nervous system. So we'll Om in 3 times together. If you need to switch your legs to be comfortable, please do. Grounding into the earth. Feel that grounding going down in. Lift up the spine through the crown. Exhale everything. Inhale full. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace. Now we're going to spend some time warming up. So much of life we're running around, and thank goodness these bodies protect us, right? The fight or flight response in life, it can be a healthy thing. Just like fear sometimes, it can really, help modulate things that we need to do, but we don't want our jaw and our neck and our body stuck in that fight or flight mode. It's the cause of a lot of reasons our bodies hurt sometimes. So I've really enjoyed this warm-up before deep asana practice to loosen up some of the major parts of the body. So we're going to warm up the neck, jaw, shoulder area first. So once again, shake those legs out if you need to, move them around, move your position for a minute till you're comfy, come back in. When you're ready, move the bottom back to make room for the sit bones, to open the hips, hands down on the ground beside you. If you're on a chair, you can grab the sides of the chair. Tiptoeing out the fingers a little bit, shoulders down, crown up. You're always making a massage happen in the body. So if you really bring your shoulders down and your crown up, you'll feel it's already giving you a massage. Now we're going to look all the way to the right. Snuggle those shoulders all the way down. Look as far as you can without hurting. And this is where we begin some interesting yoga work. Taking that exploration into your body and saying, where do I feel this? Where do you really feel this? Where is it pulling? Where do you feel it? And then more importantly, what are you telling it? You can be in any position you want in any time in life, and it's a matter of what your brain is telling the body. So right now we're getting into that space of saying, I appreciate all this. Could you please let go a little bit? You're requesting that your body let go of where you feel it. You feel it the most, where it's pulling. Now we do this the other way, slowly going over the left shoulder. Snuggling those shoulders down, crown up. And once again, just go in there, explore, where do you feel it? And with every exhale, could you be telling your body to let go a little bit, to ease up, that this is a massage of sorts. And you're asking the body to ease up. And now in between all these, we're going to do what I call sweeping out. Just going right to left, sweeping out, loosening up. Now we're going to take all these muscles and areas around the clock. So I'm going to go forward first. First I'm going to bring the arms back, opening up the chest and muscles, bringing the hands back. You can anchor your hands back either on a chair or on the floor. And then you dip that chin straight into that powerful master gland, the thyroid in your throat. So you're not only opening the muscles, tissues, tendons, you're also giving that thyroid, the gland in that throat that tells you about your metabolism every moment, how you're going to feel energetically. You're giving it a little squeeze. Now we're going to tap that thyroid. See, and if you can't reach very well, open your mouth and do it. Kind of tapping that thyroid gland a little bit. Glands respond well to being tapped and activated. Now we're going to slide across that thyroid, kind of getting the parathyroid there a little bit. The whole time opening up the chest muscles there. Good. Coming up slowly, bringing the hands back out to the central plane there and shoulders down again. And now we're going to bring that right ear over to the right shoulder blade. Bringing it over and then unclench those shoulders. Unclench. Take the shoulders down. Release them. And now we're going to nod over that right shoulder. You're nodding yes. over that right shoulder, opening up, warming up the muscles. All those connections that go from the neck into the shoulders, down the arms. And now that you've warmed it up for a minute, let's really hit an area here where you know you need it. And you can use this left hand as your tool. Maybe you bring it out or back a little on the floor. Find a place where you really feel it. And then every exhale, what can you do to help release this area through the brain? Every exhale is a message of some sort of comfort, some kind of release. Give it 2 or 3 good breaths. And then nodding again, nodding yes, once again, to let go. Before you bring the head up again, and we're going to sweep out left to right, in between everything. Good. Now we're going back. I'm going to take my hands and anchor them on these tight front muscles here. Pushing into the muscles, pulling down a little bit, and then I'm going to slowly bring my head back, doing a slight little bulldog underbite towards the sky. So pushing the hands in, pulling them down, pulling the head back and up. You can see what this does here. This is one of the areas that gets really affected by that fight or flight mechanism. That's why so many of us have a little popping in the jaw, a little TMJ type stuff. So this is wonderful for releasing that. Breathing, giving the request for release. Do the same thing, looking to the right. Push your hands in, draw them down, look to the right. You should feel it from the teeth down. Same thing, looking to the left. Press in, pull down. Requesting a release. Now to equalize, we nod no a few times, just to get everything one more time. Good. And in releasing, you just fold forward a little bit and let's swipe out some of those lymph glands. Our body's constantly using those little lymph glands as our sewage system to clean this human body. So we're swiping from behind the neck, behind the ears, down the front, down towards the liver. You can even stroke the thyroid one more time here, down low. Good. Let's sweep out, hands down in the central plane, shoulders down, and sweeping out left to right. Good. Now we go to the other side. Left ear over to the left shoulder blade. Unclench. Unclench those shoulders. When you settle in, start to nod. Yes. Over the left shoulder blade. Slow nodding. Warming up. And you'll feel it. These areas get really tight in our lives. We use our arms so much. Our necks and our jaw are very susceptible to how our nervous system is feeling. We're warming it up, and now be still. Find a place where you know you need it. Use the right hand as a tool. You can bring it out or back or the place that you feel it the most. Settle down. And now every breath. Really requesting again that the body release some of that fight or flight, some of the tightness, caused by life. Good. Slowly nodding again before you bring the head up. We're going to nod this one more time to get it to let go before we come up. And slowly bringing the head back up, shoulders back down in the middle, hands back down, left to right, sweep it out. Good. Warmed up all this. We're going to come up now, and we're going to do a few warm-ups standing before we begin our asana. So, standing up, getting comfortable, and shake everything out a little bit. And we're going to begin some warm-ups here that are going to help warm some of the integral parts up before we begin the asanas. So, nice wide legs here. Just get comfortable with them and parallel the feet. This is taking the hips in the other plane, the circular plane. So we're going to start with some just nice loose hip circles, putting the hips forward and beginning right. So just do some nice wide hip circles, keeping the upper body a little still while you're mostly focusing on the lower body here. So once you get going with your hip circles, make them a little looser. Just nice loose. Loosen it up. So good for everything that connects in those hips and the SI joint. Good. We're going to stop and go the other way. So now we go to the left. Start some good wide hip circles. Make them as wide as you can. And then let's go a little looser. Nice and loose. Nice, different plane of motion for the human hips. Good. Okay, shake it out. Shaking out the hips. Shake out your shoulders. Shake out your head. Shakes are really good for nerves, for muscles. Now we're going to come and do a little balancing. Part of balancing is not letting the brain think too much about balancing. Sometimes when we're thinking too much, it's kind of what foils our balancing. So I'm going to start on the left foot. Nice wide toes. Feel those tree roots. Give a minute to get grounded. Remember, before we lift, we ground. So once again, balancing through that left foot, raising the right knee. Put a finger on the wall. If you need it for help, just put a little finger on the wall. Okay, and I'm going to start with the right ankle massage here. So round and round in the ankles. Nice ankle circles. One way and the other way. Feel them pop out and stretch, get a little warm. Good. Now we go to something called fist and fan, where I make a nice tight fist with my feet until you feel the knuckles get warm. I'm balling up those toes nice and warm. And now fan. Nice wide toes, as wide as you can make them. And go back and forth a few times. Fist to fan. Really warms everything up, gives everything an opportunity to pop out if it needs to. And now pendulum. From the knee, I'm just swirling my foot in a circle. Nice around that kneecap. Circles one way and the other. Good. Okay, now we're going to raise that right leg. And just sort of settle into it. And remember, balance is not stasis. So a lot of what messes us up in balancing is trying to be too stiff. When you balance in life, you can even use your arms to balance if you need to. Do what you need to. But let your brain accept balance. Good. And when you bring it down, we're going to shake it out. So take that leg and really give it a shake. Your thighs should be shaken. Your muscles in your calves. As a matter of fact, loosen your foot. Shake it like a flipper for the metatarsals there for a minute. All right, let's go to the other side. Shake out your bottom again. Let's go to the other side. Right foot, nice and balanced. Nice wide toes. Feel the tree roots going into the earth first. Once again, you can always go put a finger on the wall if you need to. Left knee up and round and round. Let's address the ankles on this side now. Nice circles one way and the other way. And now fist to fan. Squeeze those toes. Squeeze those toes. Nice warm. You'll almost feel it get warm in the knuckles there of the toes. And then fan. Nice wide toes. Back and forth. Fist to fan. Fist to fan. And now pendulum. So out of the kneecap, you're just drawing a circle with your foot. One way. Nice and loose. And the other way. And once again on this side, raising that left leg to a comfortable stance and just letting the brain accept a little balance. If you need to bring your arms up to support or move them around, do that. Whatever it takes, right, to just retain that balance. It's more of a frame of mind sometimes than it is even in our bodies. All right, let's shake it out. Nice loose shake. Get all the muscles and tissues going. Flap the foot out so you get the metatarsals. One more shake out. Good. All right, let's move it up here. We're going to use our arms and our shoulders a lot in our practice, so let's warm it up first. Once again, coming into Tadasana and balancing it out. Wide toes, root before you lift. Tree roots into the earth, reaching up and arms out. Shoulders down. Shoulders all the way down, crown up. Always forming that juxtaposition to get more of a massage. And now forming what I like to call the lotus flower. Right? Bringing it up with the hands and then widening, blooming the lotus. Okay, shoulders are down, arms are as straight as you can get them, and you're pulling this flower, these hands back as much as you can to get that stretch in the wrist. Opening up the carpal tunnel, lengthening these hard-working arm muscles. Now, bringing that out and doing what I call closing the lotus. Closing that flower, bringing it down, shoulders down, crown up, and pulling out. Once again, such a nice stretch for the muscles. Such a nice opener for the wrist. And now, doing what I call rolling the lotus. So roll it one way. And the other. Good. And now out, up, and out. If you need a break right now, shake your arms out for a minute. If you're okay, come out here. And we'll repeat it. Shoulders down, straightening the arms as much as you can, bringing the palms back towards your body, and then opening the lotus. Wide open fingers. You really start to feel this down your arms. We can really start to feel it in the nerves. You might feel a little tingling. And now doing what I call waving the lotus. That's opening and shutting the fingers here, like this. Good. One more time. Closing the lotus, bringing it down. Shoulders down, crown up, and breathe. Lengthening those hard-working arm muscles once again. Opening up the carpal tunnel area in the wrist. Good, and we shake it out, Qigong style. Give it that great shake out. So you're throwing your arms out nice and loose, nice and loose. Your arms are smacking up against you lightly because of how loose you're able to throw out your arms. Good. Okay, we've given the body a nice warm up. We've set an intent for our yoga practice. And now we're going to go to the next part and enjoy the asanas, the movement series part.